In the winter of 1959, in the harsh, desolate landscape of the Ural Mountains, 9 experienced hikers set out on an expedition. They were young, skilled, and full of life, expecting a challenging but rewarding journey. They never returned. What happened to them became one of the most chilling and perplexing mysteries of the 20th century, the Dyatlov Pass Incident. The group was led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, an engineering student. They were all students or graduates from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, seasoned in long-distance ski trips and mountain expeditions. Their goal was to reach Otorden, a mountain whose name in the local Mansi language ominously means "don't go there." They planned to cover over 300 kilometers and be back in time to send a telegram to their sports club by February 12th. When that date came and went with no word, no one was immediately alarmed. Delays were common in these kinds of expeditions. But as the days turned into a week, concern grew and a search party was assembled. On February 26th, the search team made their first horrifying discovery. They found the group's tent, abandoned on the slope of Kholat Syakhl, or Dead Mountain. The tent was bizarrely damaged. It had been sliced open from the inside, as if the hikers had desperately needed to escape. Their belongings, including winter coats, boots, and supplies, were all left behind. It was clear they had fled in a hurry into the sub-zero temperatures, wearing little more than their sleepwear. From the tent, a trail of footprints led down the slope toward a dense forest. The footprints showed that some were barefoot, some wore only socks, and others had just a single shoe. It was a scene of pure panic. About a mile away, under a large cedar tree, the searchers found the first 2 bodies, Yuri Krivonishenko and Yuri Doroshenko. They were shoeless, dressed only in their underwear. Their hands were burned, and the branches of the cedar tree above them were broken, suggesting they had tried to climb it, perhaps to get a better view or escape something on the ground. Nearby were the remains of a small fire. 3 more bodies were found between the cedar tree and the tent, spaced out as if they were trying to return to the camp. These were Igor Dyatlov, Zeneda Kolmogorova, and Rustem Slobodin. The positions of their bodies suggested a desperate struggle back up the hill. Slobodin had a fractured skull, but the cause of death for all 5 was officially listed as hypothermia. It seemed like a tragic, but perhaps explainable, accident. They got lost, froze to death. But the mystery was far from over. The search for the remaining 4 hikers continued for another 2 months. Finally, in May, as the snow began to melt, their bodies were discovered in a ravine, about 75 meters deeper into the woods from the cedar tree. And this is where the story takes an even darker turn. These 4 hikers had suffered catastrophic injuries. Nikolai Thibault-Bernulis had a major skull fracture. Ludmila Dubinina and Semyon Zolotaryov had crushed chests, with injuries so severe they were compared to the force of a car crash. What could have possibly caused such damage? Even more strangely, Ludmila was missing her tongue, eyes, and part of her lip. Alexander Kolevatov was also found with them, having died of hypothermia, but with his own set of strange circumstances. The official investigation was baffled. There were no signs of other people, no evidence of a struggle between the hikers themselves. The initial conclusion was that a compelling natural force had caused their deaths. The case was abruptly closed, and the files were classified, fueling decades of speculation and conspiracy theories. So, what really happened on Dead Mountain? Let's explore some of the most prominent theories. The first and most straightforward is an avalanche. The theory goes that a slab avalanche buried part of their tent, forcing them to cut their way out and flee. In the dark and chaos, they became disoriented and separated. The panic, combined with the freezing temperatures, led to a phenomenon called paradoxical undressing, where people suffering from severe hypothermia feel a sensation of intense heat and remove their clothes. This would explain why they were so lightly dressed. The severe injuries of the last 4 could have been caused by the crushing weight of the snow in the ravine where they were found. While this theory sounds plausible, many experts have pointed out inconsistencies. The slope where the tent was pitched wasn't steep enough for a typical avalanche, and there was no evidence of one found by the original search party. Plus, the footprints leading away from the tent were orderly, not what you'd expect from people fleeing a wall of snow. Another popular theory involves a secret Soviet weapons test. The area was known for military activity. Could the hikers have accidentally stumbled upon something they weren't supposed to see? This theory suggests a powerful explosion, perhaps a parachute mine or a rocket, could have caused a concussive blast, leading to the internal injuries and forcing the hikers to flee. Some reports claim that witnesses saw strange orange spheres or lights in the sky around the time the hikers disappeared. Traces of radiation were also found on some of their clothing, although the levels were considered low. The missing tongue could be explained by natural decomposition and scavenging animals, but the idea of a military cover-up is a compelling explanation for the classified files and the swift, inconclusive investigation. Then there are the more fringe theories. Some believe the local Mansi people, indigenous to the region, might have attacked the hikers for trespassing on their sacred lands. However, the investigation found no evidence to support this. The injuries were not consistent with a human attack, and the Mansi people were known to be peaceful and even assisted in the search. Others venture into the realm of the paranormal. Was it a UFO? An encounter with a cryptid like the Russian Yeti? These ideas are fueled by the unexplainable aspects of the case. The strange lights in the sky, the horrific injuries with no external signs of trauma, and the sheer terror that must have driven them out into the wilderness. In 2019, the Russian government reopened the case, hoping modern science could finally provide an answer. Their official conclusion largely supported the avalanche theory, specifically a small delayed slab avalanche that caught the hikers by surprise. They suggest that poor visibility would have made it impossible for them to find their tent after fleeing. While this is the most scientifically grounded explanation to date, it still doesn't satisfy everyone. Key questions remain unanswered. Why the severe, selective internal injuries? Why did they make a fire and then leave it? And what about the missing tongue? For over 60 years, the Dyatlov Pass Incident has held a grip on the public imagination. It's a perfect storm of mystery, a remote, forbidding location, a group of young adventurers, and a set of clues that seem to contradict each other at every turn. Was it a natural disaster, a military secret, or something else entirely? Every piece of evidence seems to open up more questions than it answers. The diaries and photos recovered from the campsite paint a picture of a happy, normal expedition right up until the final terrifying moments. Their last photo is a strange, blurry image taken in the dark, showing what might be a bright light or just a camera malfunction. It's a fittingly ambiguous end to their story. The truth of what happened that night on Dead Mountain may have died with the 9 hikers. Their story serves as a chilling reminder that even in our modern world, there are still places where nature is untamed and mysteries remain unsolved. The wind still howls over Dyatlov Pass, carrying with it the secrets of that fateful night. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into one of history's most haunting unsolved cases. What do you think happened to the Dyatlov group? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more explorations into the unknown. Stay curious and stay safe.